Two. Well, hello and welcome to the MoJo Monday. Want to welcome everybody, a place to come and hear authentic, real, from the heart stories in part of this beautiful community we all love called Zalevo. And we want to welcome everybody. I'm here at my home office along with my honeybee downstairs. Say honeybee. And here in Granbury, Texas. You'll be hearing more from Joy in a few minutes. And also my co-host with the most,
Mr. Jim Rhodes up in St. George, where our Zalevo office is located. I am very lucky. And tonight is a special night because of our special guests. Thank each of you who are VIPs who have showed up on this call. We appreciate you wanting to know more about your own health journey and learning from other people's experience. I've always been taught experience is the best teacher, especially if it's someone else's experience that you can learn from. And tonight are going to be some of the best. So thank each of our guests in advance for being here.
Yes, well said. And so true, Jim. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to step over. How many want these formulations and products around for your grandkids and their kids and their kids? So we have to be compliant. We don't have to, we can choose to be compliant, thankfully. So I'm going to pull up a couple slides, Jim, and you can go over a couple nuggets with this, but let me make sure that my little slides work here, Jim. So
I see it well. And we just start off by saying this is for educational purposes. We're not doctors. We do not prescribe. We do not diagnose. And so with that being said, the product results of things we're talking about, these are not medicines, and we don't practice medicine. These are foods, and these are individual results. Not necessarily it's going to be the same for every person because we're all different. But these are real, and these are raw. And we always suggest that if you are changing your diet or your exercise program, always consult with your health practitioner to ask if he will monitor you and help you in your journey of health. These things we're going to be sharing tonight have certainly made a difference in the lives of those who will be sharing from their heart. This is not scripted. This is live as we see it, their own experiences just being shared from their hearts. We are a company called Zalevo, and that's a combination of two words, za and levo, Z standing for zenith, the highest point in an arc. Levo is to lift up to the highest possibility of what our body can deliver. We know that if we give the body what it needs in a form that it can use with the delivery system that gets it in, this body of ours is a miracle, and it can do a lot of self-healing. It can do a lot of improving and give us the life that we all truly deserve and are looking for. And that's our hope in sharing it with you, is that you can get back with the person who invited you to review this video or be live with us on tonight and make a decision if it makes sense to put it to the test. And the test is simple. Put it in and let the product do the talking. Your body will appreciate that. And so that is who we are. We are being taught tonight by people who have seen a strengthening in their immune system. That's what's going to be shared tonight. And I might start with this preamble. Your immune system is your number one defense against degenerative conditions and diseases. You have an immune system built of an army of individual cells that go out and protect and strengthen and conquer the bad guys that can overcome many of us. Again, we can strengthen our immune system so that it does a good thing because it protects you from little things like the common cold that can migrate and become pneumonia. It protects you from the big things called cancer. It protects you from so many things. We want the healthiest immune system we can get. And 60 to 70% of your immune soldiers live in your gut. So a healthy gut very often results in a healthy body. we'll have upcoming calls about alkalizing and the greens that we have from Vital Core to energize and to alkalize at the same time. A half a cup in greens in one little dose, a half a cup of some of the greatest, strongest greens we could put in our body. We'll talk about that. Healthy and Radiant Skin on the 3rd of July, the 10th of July, the life-giving power of a shake, what's in a full spectrum shake, and why it is the most nutritional meal on the planet, according to Jim Rhodes. And finally, elevating your energy with eVibe. For those of us who have that midday or afternoon crash, eVibe is an absolute miracle. I don't leave home without it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. So we got some fun calls coming up, and we have an ever-growing library that where you can access. You simply go to YouTube and type in Team Z for Zalevo Global Impact, Team Z Global Impact, and you'll see a growing library that you can share and share these awesome, authentic stories with everybody. So healthy immune systems. I know. Who else has traveled more than 3 or 4 hours out of your hometown on a plane, on a train, in an automobile? Okay. How about 16, 18 plus hours around the planet? And those of you who have done that, does it put a toil, a burden on your system, on your body, on your health? And so our first share tonight is from a lady most of us know and love dearly. And she is a ray of sunshine. We all love her. She's up in the not too many miles from Jim and Kathy Rhodes right now in St. George. And I put a little message out. Who can share and has seen a difference either recently or even over the past 1, 2, 3 years with Zalevo and in your immune system? And Jill raised her hand on my phone and said, well, I just gallivanted all over down under, and here I am, and I'm healthy, and I'm still kicking. So welcome to the call, Ms. Jill.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, you guys. It was the craziest 3 weeks of my life. And I went on 11 flights, 9 different cities, 11 different hotels. We were on trains, planes, and automobiles, and just on subways and so many different places. And, the whole time, we made sure we took all of our formulations with us. And the whole entire time, we just made sure we were on track with all of it. So first thing in the morning, Kirsty and I, we shared a room for 3 weeks. We still like each other, I promise. It was fun. And at the same time, I'm like, oh, I think she's tired of me. But we made sure we got up and had our trio every single morning. And then, and at least one shake a day, and our biomes at night. And of course, the products I keep with me 24/7, our Fortitude 85 and our Mind Sync, especially before presentations and throughout the day. We had our Vital Cores, we just had all the things with us. But one thing we did for sure was the trio in the morning, a shake a day, and just kept on top of it. And even though we were jet lagged and didn't get all the sleep that we needed or deserved, we still stayed healthy. Both of us did. And we came back like champs for sure. So grateful for this label formulations and helping them keep us healthy through this traveling time of our lives. And I know that they'll just continue to do the same for all of us, no matter where we're at. And they're so portable. Would you guys agree that the formulations are so portable? And so it's just a blessing that we were able to take them with us with no problem at all. So
yeah, and for someone brand new here, maybe listen to the recording or the live. What in the heck's a trio?
Yeah, so the trio is 1 stick of collagen, 1 stick of burn mode, and 1 stick of either eVibe or Alpha. I love my watermelon eVibe, my watermelon lime. It's like my favorite thing. And when I need that extra boost, I definitely have an Alpha. But if you mix those things first thing in the morning, or any time during the day, just as long as it's not too late if you're going to have that little boost of caffeine. But I really, every morning, I think Kirsty got so sick of me because I get up and shake it. I'm like, I don't know how anyone goes a day without this tree out. Every day I said that. And then she'd put her proud face on, and just because she's so proud that she and her team have formulated such incredible formulations that help us get going for the day, and not just that, but that keeps us healthy and keeps us going. So,
well, I love that. And I guess the last question for you, Jill, to comment on was, I know looking back prior to Zalevo, I'm sure there were times when you had some similar types of craziness in your life or travels. What's the difference between then and how you would feel at this point versus now? What's the biggest difference?
yeah, I felt like, on this trip that we went on, I feel like we had to be on all the time because we had meetings most every night, but we also had one-on-ones all during the day. So if I would have done this before without the incredible formulations we have now, I was dragging all the time, even if it was just going like to an event or something just for 3 or 4 days, just super tired, being on the road, especially if it was a flight or something, but just not myself, and just that laggy feeling. And with this trip being 3 weeks away, we were tracking all the time. We were just on top of it. And it just, the nutrition that it feeds our body is just incredible, and we could feel it.
Well, anybody else see that Jill is kind of glowing with that Z glow? So you are radiant, and thank you for showing up in life the way you do and serving so many people. We love you, Jill.
Love you too. Thanks, Robert.
You betcha.
We certainly all do, and welcome home. You've been missed, and that glow is right there. We can see it in full spectrum.
Yeah, and if I can say this man to man, the next guest coming on, he has a nice glow about him too, a nice manly glow. But I want to welcome I've met and spoke with, we've interviewed his wife several times now, Kimberly, and he was brought to all of our attentions because we just finished our first ever Zalevo called Trans with a Z Form Challenge. It's an 8-week company-wide challenge, and when they were announcing all the finalists and so forth, I got down to the grand winner of the very first ever challenge, Transform Challenge. It was this man named Corey Cousins, and I was blown away with his story, how he is just, living life large, and he is actually like now trail running and doing all kinds of stuff. I don't know the full story, and when I told Jen that Corey was coming on tonight, Jen said, well, I can't wait to hear more of the story, especially tied to having that staying well and staying healthy with his immune system. I know, Corey, if I can say this, I'm sure you'll laugh about this. I heard that your wife coached you a little bit, so we won't go there too much, but welcome to the call tonight, Corey.
Thank you. Yeah, she did coach me.
Just a little bit. And then he encouraged and coached me too. So anyways,
Well,
take it away. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Corey.
So I guess as far as looking to keep my immune system healthy, I'd always been looking for something like a good healthy turmeric or a good healthy ginger, or something where like I was using fresh ginger and throwing that in a shake and taking that in the morning. And then Zalevo came along, and I didn't actually participate for the first couple of years with Kimberly as far as using the product. And then is January, I went to my first Zalevo event and got to hear it from Kirsty, from Brandon, from everyone. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's try it. And so then, Transform came along, and after watching Jill do her amazing transformations, and I thought, okay, I'm in. Let's try it. Let's give it everything we got here. And Sorry, the phone was about to die.
Yes. And I just wanted to add that he would tell me all these things. He'd say, oh, I want to make this recipe that included these ingredients. And I was like, okay, well, that's all in burn mode. So you could do it in an easy little stick. Sometimes it just takes listening to other people, getting them on a call, getting them to an event, and for them to see that all the goodness that you are looking for is in already amazingly formulated products.
Yeah.
And so anyways. Yeah.
No, and that's totally right. And so then after hearing it at that event, I was like, oh, I'm in. This burn is like my go-to. And I think we did with Jim, not like April-ish.
I think it was April when
we
you
had
went out,
we
Jim.
had another thing with Jim, and he talked about having burn every night. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna try this. I want to see what is in it and how it's gonna keep me healthy.
Mhm.
And it has all of that stuff in it that I was looking for.
Mhm.
And it's like Jill said, it's an easy little stick, and I can take it to work with me every morning. I can take it on trips. It's awesome.
It's easy and convenient. And he was able to do the burn days, 48-hour burn days. The first time he
Yeah,
tried it
I'm a big
was
baby.
he was a baby. And then I said, whoa, like, why are you just jumping into it? You need to prepare a little bit, your mindset, lay your products out, have everything on hand. Don't just starve yourself, have the burn mode and put it in your phone and schedule it. And so then the next time we did it together, 48-hour, and he killed it and he did awesome. And you've done a couple since then.
The next one I did, I think I went 60 hours on the
60 hour.
second one.
Wow.
And hitting autophagy and really like pushing that as far as I could, even while doing a fairly physical job. I wasn't in lack of energy or even in lack of mind as far as being able to perform my job
and make decisions.
Being a project manager, I have to do a lot of phone calls, a lot of ordering, a lot of scheduling ahead of things and making sure the project is going accordingly. And there's a lot of math that goes involved in it. And so being able to do all that and doing a burn day the very first time blew me away. I thought there's no way I can do this and not have some kind of caloric intake.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to do it with no problems.
Wow. And don't you love, those of you, anybody who's researched that, Corey and Kimberly both, you know what happens once you get past that 12-hour or 24, how everything kicks in, resets your immune system, that human growth hormone and all that beautiful stuff. So, and Corey, you're also starting to trail run a bit more, and you have a race coming up as well.
Yes. Yeah. The trail running's been, I did it for a friend initially, and now it's kind of shifted for me, and I quite enjoy it. I mean, some of it's pretty rigorous, some of it's pretty hard. We actually, this couple weeks ago, I guess now, we hiked and ran all the way up to the top of one of our mountains right here, and we skied on the snow, just on our shoes, but we actually skied down in the snow. There was still like 6 feet of snow up there. And so we had some fun while we were up there, a couple little snowball fights, but yeah, a lot of fun. And being able to actually do that, I mean, 6 months ago, there was no way. There would have been no way because there was too much snow then.
Yeah.
But on another note, yes, there would have been no way physically for me to do that.
And I don't want to take too much time, but I really want to add this. We were talking about doing that for fun, the trail run, and being healthy. Also, we both needed our health so much, especially Corey, during this last winter and beginning of spring. He was able to help so many people, and he didn't take a break. There was so much snow this winter. We had to go from house to house clearing roofs. And then because of the amount of snow we got, then we had flooding. And so there was no break in helping and providing service. And he did not get the sleep that he needed or deserved during winter and beginning of spring. And from clearing roofs to then digging holes in people's yards to help with the flooding and cleaning out their basements and throwing sandbags and filling sandbags and coordinating. Anyways, he needed his health, and he had it through this winter. So just wanted to end on that.
Wow. Plus you're a busy father and he as well on top of that. So yeah, you're a testament to the power of nutrition too, Corey, you and Kimberly both. So thanks for being on tonight and sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. And I guess one last question, Corey, to you specifically, since you were so, I'm assuming you were skeptical, whatever again, we can be authentic here, but you didn't use anything for a couple of years. What would you tell, just real succinctly in a short answer, what would you tell a reluctant spouse who's just like, I don't want anything? What would you tell them?
That, that's actually a pretty good question. My whole start, I guess, is, if it makes you happy, Kimberly, go ahead and do it. Watching my boys with their health is probably the biggest testimony that I have for this. They can go all day on a shake.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was, you know what, they're doing great. I
Honestly,
don't know how to answer that one.
it's probably honestly, it wasn't reluctant. It was honestly, authentically more of a budget thing.
Yeah.
And he saw what it was doing for me, and that I needed it because I've had massive health issues. And then kids as well, behaviorally, they needed the shake. They needed good nutrition in their body to help them function. And so he knew that we were spending the money for us. And so then we needed to get our butts in gear so that we can have it be a whole family affair. So that's honestly more of what it was. It wasn't necessarily, honestly, if I'm thinking back, it wasn't, I don't want to, it was, you guys need this more than me. And then it was like, no, you need this too. So we'll make it work. So.
Well, that's a great authentic answer. Thank you both for sharing that. Because let's be real about it. So much of the time there is a certain family dietary budget when it comes to food. And don't you love it too when a spouse sees how much whatever you do, honey, stay on this. And then and also, Corey, I'm assuming now you're also being an ongoing example to your kiddos too. The fact that
big time, actually. Our older boy, Joseph, he's more excited to exercise, whereas not too long ago, he would scream and yell at me and I would say, let's go for a run. And then I would have to pull him along and say, come on. And now it's, Dad, I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is.
There's no price you can put on that, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's part of your legacy. Well, love and light to you both. Thanks so much for who you are.
Thank you.
You bet. Don't you love it, guys? Families leading by example. No matter what we say as parents, grandparents, it's what we do. Yes.
It is absolutely. Yep.
It's the life.
And leading out, and a child who changes from don't like exercise, don't want to go out, to now I want to, and I've got the energy to do it. That's just a wonderful miracle.
And my dad can do it with me. And the story behind that story, then it comes to the mental, the cognitive ability, the mental ability, the ability to study and focus with the kids. That's a whole nother story there. So some beautiful stories, guys. And the last story of the evening is downstairs. It's a combination between me and my honey. And I was thinking, who else can we grab here and talk about the immune system? The number one reason I'm even in 27 years later with a nutritional company that's tied to our legacy is because of my own journey with my immune system. And I can touch on that in just a moment. Before I do that, let me share my honeybee, who's actually launched a new electrical company. They do service work and new construction, and she's been working around the clock as well, along with being an amazing honey and an amazing mom to the kids here, and amazing grandmother, Mimi. So welcome to the call, honeybee.
Well, thank you. And I'm so sorry, you guys. I just realized I'm kind of sort of sitting in the dark, but I'm okay with that. We got out of the gym late, so we just had to like make this happen and go. So it's all good.
It's all good. Can you give us a little perspective? I know you've been on some good nutritional supplements now, going on 20 plus years and more. And then can you paint us a little picture a little more recently now? Along came Zalevo now a couple of years ago. And what's a comparison here between maybe how you would be functioning at this point, 3 or 4 months into your new business, your new company here, a local venture, compared to what you would be going through 2.5, 3 years ago?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because I am the oldest one in our company, so we have to laugh about that. So it's my son and I, and then everybody is pretty much even younger than my son. So they're so funny, like when we started this, and I knew quite a few of these people before from us working together at another electric company. And so when it would start to get late and stuff, they would be like, Joy, you need to stop, and, aren't you tired? And aren't you this? And aren't you that? And, we need to think about getting you some help. And I was like, stop it. I am the one that is still going. You guys are the one that are, you're exhausted and you're dragging in the morning, and, y'all make me feel bad for feeling so good. So it's like, I am in a good place. And normally when I overdo, and I'm probably overdoing for a little small period of my life here, usually what happens is I get sick, to be honest. And, for me, it's, sometimes I would end up in the past with pneumonia, and it would just drag me down. And so I really hadn't thought about this, but Robert and I were talking about this today, and I don't remember the last time I've been sick. I really don't. And like we weren't sick this winter. We didn't have colds. We didn't have any of that.
Yeah, and although we were with some good products, we still had those vicious cycles. Both of us would get pneumonia, we would get flus, we would get colds frequently. Yeah. And now it's been a little over 2 years. And honestly, we haven't had that cycle. No,
we really haven't. And Robert is running Zalevo. He has a massage practice in Granbury, and he has a massage practice about an hour from here. And then, I've got pieces of Zalevo, and I have a huge piece of an electric company, and the mom and the Mimi and the cook and the yada. And we're doing really good. And unlike Jill, I wish I could tell you that like I took everything every day. And I don't. I'm going to be very honest with you. I am very faithful with my shake, and I make it like ice cream. I mean, I do. It is so thick. I have to eat it with a spoon. And sometimes I put mango, and sometimes I put strawberries, but that's my go-to. But one of the products that's probably helped me the most of all is the BioTrim. And so I just do one of those, even like I don't do one in the morning and I do it one at night before I go to bed. That has been huge for me. And as you get older, as Jim can tell you as well, your stomach does cranky things. And I've read it's, because the vitamin D changes in your body as you age and you don't absorb that like you used to. And that feeds the gut and all that technical stuff. But the truth is, it just happens as you get older. I don't know why, but it does. But the BioTrim is like, it has just, I don't know, it's just put my whole system just nice and even. Like even with a lot of stress, I'm really like, I'm not killing anybody or anything. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Betty bar the door, keep the gun unloaded. So, and I will say this, ever since we've been together for 27 years, and all those years you've had some kind of digestive gut lingering challenge, okay?
So
And
when I was overseas in the Philippines a long time ago, I got the tropical sprue. And you know, for a lot of you that don't know, but it's a terrible, terrible amoeba that you get sometimes. Like mine, we figured it out finally. It came from the water that the rice was cooked in. And I mean, I knew it like I was so sick, I can't even tell you. I lost 17 pounds in 2 weeks. I would crawl to the bathroom. I couldn't even hold water. And so I had to take so much folic acid. And then back then they killed the amoeba with tons of antibiotics. And so it just did a number on my gut. And so that was kind of my weak link for a long time. And it just, and I, like you said, I've been on other really good things, but the biotrim seems to just, I don't know, it just kind of helped it really get a lot better. Yeah.
yeah, and the days that did flare up on you, the shake, sometimes some days the shake was the main thing you could put in your body. So so Joy, yeah, you know how much I love you, and it's just, it's a gift to have this nutrition, thanks to Jill and Jim for introducing us a couple years ago now, and it's just been a godsend. And for me, you know, most of you know maybe my story, but you know, endurance athlete, runner, I reached a point in my career path, I was in the top shape of my life in my sport. My body, it's almost like you hit a point where it said enough already. You're not getting any kind of nutrition you need, and you're overtraining a bit. My body, it was like you flicked a switch literally, and I became chronically ill. Respiratory illnesses, all that good stuff, all these inflammatory responses, etc. And it was a nutritional system that helped me kind of climb out of that, but it was happening again. And then along came Zalevo, and thank goodness, my go-to now, I will not, obviously I use pretty much all the products, but what I cannot ever go without, that I choose not to go without, my burn mode. And you've heard Kimberly and Corey talking about that because of the incredible high level astaxanthin and the other antioxidants in the burn mode. It's not just a fasting aid, guys. It is one of the world's most potent antioxidant clinical dosages that you can put in your body, for goodness sake. So whatever you do, anybody with wants to keep a healthy immune system, use the burn mode daily, for goodness sake, and do the research. And then the other, along with the burn mode, is obviously my shake, because of all the full spectrum in there. And now I've always been a huge fan of all the phytonutrients. So I swear by Joy will tell you, I don't go a day now without my greens. And I swear by the greens on the days, because I've had a compromised adrenal system through the years. I have to be a little careful. I still do it quite a bit with caffeine. So on the days I have a long massage or I'm busy with Zalevo, the greens serve as an energizer drink for me. When I've already had enough caffeine for the day or whatever, I can get my greens in and I am good to go for hours. So the greens really help energize and keep my immune system healthy. So hopefully,
I am really enjoying the greens as well. Yeah, Robert has got me back on that since we have the greens, and I can tell the difference with that as well. You don't reach for the caffeine.
Yeah, so it's a good balance there, isn't it? So, well, okay, we're gonna end this call here. Joy, you know how much I love you. You're my honeybee. So I'm gonna hand it back over to Jim to close us out tonight.
Well, thank you. Wow. There's not much to say other than wow. You guys were all exceptional. Everything that you have shared has re-energized my desire, especially I love what you're saying about the greens. People who know what greens are and what they can do for the GI tract, particularly in staying regular, once they are introduced to them, never leave them after that, because being regular gives your gut health everything that you want. The bad is out and the good is in. So all of those reasons are just amazing. And I see the science behind each of these products that you've talked about tonight. They're exceptional. For everyone who's not tried them, reach out to the person who invited you tonight and say, how do I experiment with these, and grab them and put them to the test. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing, each of you, these incredible stories. We'll see you each Monday and see you next Monday too. So with that,
We will. And here we go. We're gonna
Hey.
yell out our favorite core value.
which
One.
is
Force for good.
2,
One.
2, 3.
Force for
good.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
These
Thanks,
products
everybody.
are a force for good in every body.
Love y'all.
Love you much.
Go for it. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thanks.